Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on our very first installment of a series of webinars that Lisa and I are so very excited to have ventured into. We've been wanting to do this for a while. So thank you for joining Lending on the Edge with myself, Leah Merritt, and my co-host, she's so beautiful, Lisa Lee. Um, a little bit about myself. I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest in Washington State. I've been doing this for many years, way more years than I'd like to admit. Um, and so today we're going to be covering the $40 billion opportunity. This is huge, and we're so excited that you're here to join us. And thank you for giving us 30 minutes of your time.
That you'll never get back.
You'll never get back.
So that we hope that you'll take at least one thing from this, and that will be a success for us and for you, right, Leah?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Lisa Lee, and I'm down here in Utah. As anyone that knows me knows, I've been around for a little bit while. I've actually been doing this for about 30 years. Most of the time in actually subprime and non-QM is where I've spent all of my time. And, working on the wholesale side of things. So working with, to partner with you guys to help with these complex borrower situations. It's kind of where, the space I prefer to be in. So we are excited about this. Leah and I have talked about, how we can add value as account executives to you guys, and add to the relationships. And we both are sincere about contributing to the growth of your business. And so to do that, we've got a ton of tools to offer. And a lot of that comes from ClearEdge Lending. This is where we've chosen to make our home here at ClearEdge Lending. And, they've between just the wealth of knowledge and experience that we have behind us here, but also that they're, an end investor, which gives us the authority, to make in-house decisions on credit, et cetera. Everything that we have behind us, it gives us the confidence and strength to come forward with these webinars to help empower you guys to do more with your business. So again, we're excited about that and about the conversations to be had with this $40 billion opportunity and more to come. So I apologize because I just skipped this slide. Please forgive us and give us a little grace because this is our first one. Anyway, some other things about ClearEdge Lending. So as I mentioned, we're a lender and an end investor, which again is important because it gives us that authority to make the decisions on loans in-house versus having to go to an investor to ask permission to get exceptions on product and pricing, et cetera. So that's big. What I have loved, and I know Leah and I have talked about this, is it's really the attitude that I'm more appreciative of than even the experience, because they really have a yes attitude, and that starts from the top down, right? They want to have a conversation about how to save these deals and how to get these deals closed. And it takes a knowledge and a wherewithal of understanding the make sense loan. And that's what these guys have with their experience as far as not just in the industry, but in the non-QM / subprime space, which is, a make sense manual underwrite. So we've both experienced that, and Leah has an experience even before she came here. She brought a loan over that she closed.
It's the entire reason I decided to come over. I had a very complex loan that had many layers that I could not get done at the company I was with. And I talked to the CEO, Steve Skolnick here, and he looked at the file and just kind of put it together. It closed in 2 weeks. But they made the decision. We have the power here to make those in-house decisions. And when they say that they're going to do something, I mean, my experience thus far, and I'm so excited to be able to share that with my loan officers, is that we close those loans. That's the end result. That's what we all want to be doing, is closing loans. So.
And 90 to 95% of those loans are kept within, in-house. We do also maintain a couple relationships with, with investor partners, and that's important to have the diversity. It may be just for products that we choose not to carry on our books, but also for those loans that do go sideways, which of course happens. And so that we have the options within our organization to get those loans closed for you, rather than you have to pull the loan and start somewhere else with another investor. So again, that adds to our uniqueness. But we have some incredible products within our company that allow us to close those loans and make decisions within the guidelines, and to accept alternatives to the alternatives. Because believe it or not, non-QM loans still, I think 45% of them still require an exception of some sort.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you wouldn't believe how many die within the process. And
yeah,
it's just a team of us putting together, like, well, wait a minute, what about this? What about, and you'll
yeah,
learn about that as we go on
yeah.
with this webinar here. We have a couple of different examples. So
Absolutely. Experience the edge. I just wanted to talk about that really fast. That's kind of our tagline, our logo for ClearEdge Lending. And what it means to us is just really staying on the cutting edge of lending, right? Staying on the cutting edge to stay ahead of the market demands and these ever evolving borrowers that we have that look so different from yesterday to today. But also, staying up ahead of, as far as products and pricing and service, IT, making sure the systems continue to improve and grow so that that we can, offer the best, most smooth experience for you and your borrowers to get those loans to closing. So, all in all, it's been a great place for us to represent. We're excited to be here. So we have a great team behind us. Um, this is the big deal why we're here. This is so important to us, the non-QM market opportunity for you. If you're on this call, you have at the very least had some interest in the non-QM space. But I would assume most of you have probably dipped into it or at least closed a loan or two in the non-QM world. And so, I don't know about you, Leah, but I still feel like it's on the ground level. Even though we've had these numbers, don't you? I mean, I feel like
yeah,
it's still kind of a ground level
I
where a
think
lot of people don't know yet about how to deal with them.
I
So,
think that they're also a tad bit scared. They don't
yeah,
know what they don't know. I mean, we and I've talked about one of my very good friends who's a broker, and she just flat out, I mean, for an entire year I was on her. Let's do some non-QM together. So I could work with her, right? And she just was like, no, no, only do, conforming. I do A paper, kind of,
hmm,
she was just kind of scared, I think. And so I threw her a loan, a bank statement loan somebody local in our community and walked her through it, held her hand, and she, got has gotten so excited about it because
yeah,
from that borrower who was a self-employed borrower in our community, she's the go-to now. She's closing these loans all
yeah,
the time.
and it's
She's
her
the expert
community.
now. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's and
that's
you don't,
huge.
business people are friends with business people.
That's
So,
right.
you know,
That's right.
so kind of
That's
a
right.
fun little.
Yeah, I love that. And that's the whole piece of it. But $40 billion is a shocking number, even to me being in
Huge.
the non-QM space. But $40 billion of the whole industry last year was made up of non-QM. That's shocking. I guess not too shocking, of course, because the conforming stuff was just, everyone's going to sit on those low rates and stuff. So anyone who wanted to kind of stay in business had to kind of, dip into the non-QM space. But the growth is significant, and even since 2023, from these stats, has grown from 7% to 10. So that's a lot, and it's ever growing. The two things
Mhm.
I see from these numbers, though, are one, today's option and opportunity for you to hop in and make more money because you are still on that ground floor, and in a healthy market, which Lord knows what a healthy market even looks like these days. I don't know, but you would
One
expect to
will
see
know.
the yeah, you would expect to see our sector or the non-QM space to be about 14% of that total market, right? So right there alone is just a huge growth opportunity for you
Opportunity.
guys. But above and beyond that, to me, what stands out is, the conforming space is very limited with what they can do as far as flex. They don't have a lot of flex, right? But yet our borrowers are continuing to change the sources of income they have, the way that they live and everything else. So we've
Mm,
got to be able to duck and jive with the borrowers and their needs and the market demand. And the only space to do that is non-QM, in my opinion, you know?
I agree, 100%.
Um, this is a great stat, though. 61 million, I didn't even realize this many people are just independent contractors. That's just gig work. So that's those people that, of course, this blew up in the COVID era,
During
but
COVID. Yeah.
everyone was forced to go in their homes, right? So they were picking up maybe not just even one, side job, but several, driving and doing DoorDash and this and that and the other, and they've stuck with it. So, 36% of Americans, these are the people we work with every day, right? That have a little bit of a side job or maybe some self-employment, own a business, do side work, have W-2. We'll talk in depth about this next month, but these are the people we look at and work with. And I guarantee if you're looking at a full, underwriting their full tax returns, you're not going to be likely to use that gig employment and that income. So that's where we come into play, you know. Um, and as far as the other, the second biggest product that we see, I'm sure you've heard of the DSCR loans or the debt service coverage ratio loans, with 14.8% of those homes being investment properties last year. This is a huge segment, of our industry. And it's funny because I know we've heard and Leah and I have talked about these, all these big investors are coming in and buying up all of the investment properties and there's no room for the little guy. But 70% of those people were you and me, were the mom paws, and I love that Leah tells a story about her dad was an investor and he bought investment properties and kicked those girls out when they were young to go and made them collect rent. So she's all about, understands the importance of investing. So
Absolutely. And that's kind of actually part of the reason why I love working in the non-QM space so much is my parents were both business owners.
yeah,
So,
entrepreneurs.
yeah, so, being able to get creative it's fun. Don't be scared. This is fun stuff. We're helping our community.
Yeah, it
So,
is. And it is. And I think, investments, I just wanted to touch on real fast, that's a cyclical part of the world, right? Of our business. And it's important. It's an important piece because these mom pops, these people that are able to go in and rejuvenate these older, dilapidating communities, they then improve these homes, they clean them up, improve them, rehab them, and they open up a place for people to rent in our community. Not only rent, but then these first-time home buyers are going to come back in, buy their starter home. And again, here comes a new generation, and this is a very integral part of, important part, I should say, of that rotation of the housing. So we want to work with those people. But more so, like it says on the bottom, this is a key strategy for you to diversify and grow your
your
business,
business.
to keep your
Mhm.
book of business diversified, the group of people that you're working with diversified, and opening that up to everything that's available to you out there. So, and that, goes into this next slide, which is, what are the benefits for you, which Leah's going to run through.
Yeah. So what are the benefits? Why get into non-QM? I'm so sorry. My dogs are barking in the background.
That's
And
okay.
I know you can't hear, but you have less competition. We already talked about a lot of loan officers are um, just not ready. They're a little scared, but they're gonna, I think we're all gonna be forced to kind of move this direction to keep our business growing. So there's less competition as you build a stronger referral relationship. And why do you build those? Because you're saving file, or you're saving loans, or you're helping borrowers that you never knew you could help. And you kind of look like a hero. So you're building those relationships with real estate agents and your financial planners, CPAs. They're a big piece that I think that a lot of loan officers don't go after. And I
Yeah.
think you'll find in, some of we have some planned webinars in the future, just trying to help you kind of figure out how to break into building these relationships with these type of referral partners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And I noticed, it's funny because when you think about it, CPAs actually create, they're responsible for creating the complex borrower, right? Just like these
right,
other
with the
people,
write-offs.
it's a borrower of all of ours, but they're trying to find ways to, show the lowest income possible so that they don't have to pay taxes. And yet we're trying to squeeze every ounce of, income. So it's easy to walk back into even your CPA or your sphere of influence like this and say, hey, you have these borrowers that may have situations that, don't accommodate to conforming. I can do these type of loans. So keep me in mind, so it's not even a cold call in a lot of those situations, just a growth of referrals. So anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
Not at all. So also, just here at ClearEdge, I think we should really share how fast we are. We really, really close
Yeah,
loans
for
fast.
sure.
One of the first questions I almost always get from a loan officer is, well, how long does it take?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't take a long time. And we are a skilled a group of people that know, this is what we do. We do
Yeah, they've
non-QM.
figured it out really well over here. They have
Yeah.
really figured out how to close loans, which I love.
I love it over here. But yeah, we're closing our average submission to funding on a purchase is 14 days,
Yeah, which
um,
is huge.
which is pretty amazing. And then on our refis, 18. So if you want to know, we're closing loans fast over here.
Yeah, it
Um,
moves as fast as you want it to move. You
yeah,
know what I mean? We're 1 to 2 days in every part of the loan. They're moving quickly, and we're able to meet those deadlines. We like to have docs to closing before you close. Of course, we like to have stuff done ready for your borrowers to get there and sign. It doesn't always happen perfectly. That's the way it is, but it's mortgage. So, but we do our best. Every part of our team is just as motivated as we are to get the loans closed efficiently and quickly for your borrowers. So it's big to know, you know.
yeah. That's a
And
question that I always ask. I'm
yeah,
sorry I interrupted you.
nope,
We're going to kind of do that a little bit in our first webinars. You guys are going to have to just kind of bear with us. But
two jabberjaws.
I know we really had to cut this down.
I know.
Um, but one of the first questions I ask a loan officer is like, what is your bottom line closing date? Because we take that very seriously. We want to be able to get to clear to closing and to docs prior to that. That's the goal. So without going on and on about that and eating up too much time, but I
Yeah,
do think it's important. We do close those fast. Another benefit is that you're going to get those repeat and loyal clients. Um, Borrowers tend to need multiple loans. And if you're doing,
yeah,
yeah, if you're doing your job and you're really healthy, they're going to come back to you and they're going to give you, their friends and family. And so you're just creating a long-term business opportunity for yourself within each client borrower that you work with.
absolutely, absolutely. And honestly, it's about. I always think about this, that like a grandpa talking to his grandson and son saying, I can't buy a home. I just started painting homes a couple years ago and I write off too much of my taxes. They said I don't qualify. He's like, hey, call Jim down the street. He can do these type of loans. I know he does these. And you're not shooting your business down the street to someone else and turning over your client, to some other broker down the street that's willing to step up and do this type of financing. So it pays off. I mean, for generations. So I know a lot of you already have those relationships, and so it's just about a matter of nurturing them. So this is a great way to get involved. Everyone's like, how do we find these people? How do we find these type of communities? And these are just some ideas for you to get involved with.
So, investor workshops. So I'm just going to kind of read off of this. We are going to go into some webinars in the future, but we're just trying to give you an idea
Yeah.
of where you can start, putting some of your efforts. Small business owners, self-employed workshops, realtor presentations. This is something we love to do with you.
Mhm. Yeah.
If you allow. I mean, not everybody's ready. You'll see at the bottom, not everybody's ready to be a speaker, but this is where we really shine because this is what we do all day long,
Yeah.
non-QM business.
Exactly.
So if you're not ready to get in front of your realtors or, a group of people, we can be your partner with that, and we will create, the presentation and talk on your behalf if you want, or we can do it together. Um, One other piece I want to kind of tap into is I love going out in the field with a loan officer. I even go out with my title reps. And just I always find that it's fun to do things in pairs. We
Yeah,
hold each
for
other
sure.
accountable. So that's another thing that we love to do over here, or I do. Anyways, I want to
Absolutely.
speak for
Yeah.
you, Lisa.
No,
For
no, you are great. I mean, and there's like all the webinars, presentations, you can hop online and do them. We can do them in person. But there's a ton of trade shows, stuff like that. And you can find all of these things in Facebook, Instagram, you'll see all these different groups that they join into, but the Chamber of Commerce, you can find them at small business stuff. You can find these groups everywhere. And believe it or not, they are looking for speakers. They want speakers. They're always looking for them. So if you reach out to any of these people and you offer to come in and do a lunch and learn or something for these groups, they're looking, especially if you have something enticing like DSCR loans, etc. Boy, they're always looking for something to add to their meetings.
yeah.
So it's a good way to do so. And like I say, Leah and I are always willing, as well as all of our account executives, to jump in and help you with those. And then we can also we offer these white label marketing flyers and social media posts for you. They are completely available to you 24/7 on our website, which is here at ClearEdgeLending.com. And these are just a couple of the examples. Oh my gosh, now my dogs are going. Um, That
It's all
sounds like a
right.
hound dog and she's not. Anyway, forgive me. These are completely customizable. So there you can add your logo, your picture, your company information. There's no ClearEdge Signia on any of this. And we keep it current and up to date to, of course, our underwriting guidelines. So it's something that you can actually close. But those are really helpful to just start posting
Right.
and get it out there that you're doing these type of loans. So these are just some popular programs that Leah was going to run through that we offer currently. So,
So just briefly, because we will be doing deeper dives on each one of these in the following months to come, but you may or may not know because some of you have not been involved in this non-QM side of the business. But bank statement loans are huge for your business owners. A little bit about what we'll do on these is we'll do no tax returns or CPA letters required. 1 year self-employed as long as your borrower's been in the business, the same type of business, and as low as a 620 score. This is one of my favorite programs we offer is the stackable income. And next month we will be going into that with an amazing underwriter, Adam Wirt. He'll be able to answer all your questions, give you a lot of good information. But stacking income is something I love to do because you can use every resource to get these borrowers qualified. And I have an awesome success story to share with you next month about that as well. So,
yeah,
and then Lisa's covered the DSCR. I think something special that we do, and I get this question actually with people that are already doing these loans, is if we close in an LLC. And yes, we do. We absolutely will close in an LLC. Not all members are required to be on the loan,
which is awesome.
which is super awesome. And but also we'll do on this on any of our loans. We'll close in an LLC on any of our loans. So that's I don't know if I mentioned it, but I think our company is very boutique-ish. We have a lot of little niches that help and that nobody else is offering. So, and then the
Yeah.
1099 borrower, we talked about the gig work. This is a loan we do all the time. Foreign national loans we do with no income, employment, no credit or visa required. The reserves can remain in the foreign account. The only stipulation on this loan that's important is that they are going to need to open up a U.S. bank account and have ACH. So have an automatic withdrawal from. And then I-10, I know you don't do many I-10s down there, Lisa, but I love the I-10 borrower. They perform well. Um, I like the idea of, a group of borrowers. They're usually families and they save money and they put it down. They're hard workers and they pay their bills. So,
Yeah, very true.
sorry to so quickly go over that. But we are going to be going to, like I said, deeper dives on each of these programs in months to come. And I want to stay on task because I think we may be over already. So,
I thought we were over and I apologize because I panicked and saw a time thing up there. So I apologize to everybody because I was like rushing through the other one. But anyway, this is my success story. This is an example of our uniqueness and our products that we offer to save those deals that fall in between the lines of the guidelines. This is awesome because this deal in particular, the borrowers obviously what the goal of the underwriter is to verify the information that the borrower states on their 1003, on their application, which in this case, the borrower stated that they paid rents, right? So they said they paid rent. We needed to verify that and paper trail the rents that they had paid for 12 months. And they couldn't do so. They couldn't prove that, they'd paid their rents on time because a lot of it was cash and different things like that. And so we were kind of stuck. We had all of the conditions met on the file except for the rents. And we couldn't go rent free because they'd already stated that they paid rent, which, by the way, we do allow rent free borrowers on the bank statement deal. So this was a bank statement deal, a cute little self-employed couple buying their first property. And they, again, they couldn't do their rents. And so the underwriter of all people, this was one of my first loans, called me and said, hey, what about the Flex program? And of course, in my mind, because I'm not used to using this type of thing, I'm like, wow, okay, how's that going to work? And he said, get the DU from them. I'm sure they already ran it, when they were trying to qualify them conforming. And let's see what it says for housing history and see if we can use that, to clear or cure this condition. And so we got their DU, didn't have anything about the housing history. we were able to get it closed. Boom, done. And you can use this flex program, which again is to use the DU or DO on any of our, on these non-QM loans, right? So your bank statement loan doesn't qualify conforming. We can take and use that DU or DO to meet conditions such as reserve requirements, minimum borrower contributions, and, like this one, like the housing history. It's incredible. And so it saved this borrower, and I was just really thrilled about it. We've used it several times, and I know, Leah, you've had experiences where this has stepped in and saved your borrowers too, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I actually love the idea that we have this.
I know, I do too. And it's just one of several things, like our Express Doc, we can go to Express Doc, we can do, like the stacked
A
income that she
boutique-ish
was
thing.
speaking about, the
Mhm.
boutique thing. Yeah. And it's
Mhm.
just a matter of that, again, the attitude and the mindset of making sense of these loans. So it's cool. The next slide, we wanted to introduce our guest speaker that's coming up next month. This is super exciting. Adam Wirt is a superstar senior underwriter that we have here at ClearEdge Lending. And man, talk about a wealth of experience. This guy's been doing this forever and goes back to the crazy subprime days, but he's also he's familiar with FHA conventional, all the different kinds of loans. He can walk us through these pitfalls, and we're actually going to open up for Q&A next month. So we want you to be able to ask him directly questions that you've been stuck on, say other loans, or how you can get through certain income situations or asset questions, concerns, how you can fix something. He's the guy to do it. And I think he's a go-to for all of us and probably gets fried. But we're super excited that he wants to hop on with us because he's a real busy guy. But he just definitely has a reputation for helping us make sense of these deals. So we're
Yeah,
excited for that.
he's a problem solver. I love him.
For sure.
So that's it. We so appreciate you taking time. I don't know if we went over or not, but either way, you stuck it out. And thank you for giving us a little grace. So anyway, call us if you want to schedule a one-on-one training. We are here, it just says it. We are here to help you close a lot more business. I want to also put out there that if you would like to become a partner with us, if you're not already approved with us, shoot Lisa or myself a phone call. If you have questions on scenarios or want to price a loan, we're always here to help.
Absolutely.
We love what we do. We love the company we work for, and we look forward to seeing you on the next installment on the 14th, correct? 14th?
Yeah, the 14th of August, same
14th
time.
of August. And we're going to be, like Lisa just mentioned, we're going to have the wonderful Adam Wirt as our guest speaker. So thanks again so
Oh my
much.
gosh, thanks you guys.
You guys
This
have
was
an awesome rest of
amazing.
the month.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Okay, take care.